Hey people, it's Nia Stoki. Now I'd like to thank the Radical sister for this story because she was the first one who told me on one of her videos, so check her out as well. Now this is from The Independent and it's called California Fires, Wildfires Fears Radioactive Waste Could Be Caught in Destructive Blaze. Physicians fear smoke and ash from the fire spread contamination that was in soil and vegetation. An organization of physicians fear radioactive waste could become a major issue after Southern California's huge wildfire burned near a former nuclear test site. The Organization of Physicians for Social Responsibility said it was likely that smoke and ash from the fire spread radiological and chemical contamination that was in soil and vegetation near the Santa Susana Field Laboratory. We know what substances are on the site and how hazardous they are. We're talking about how incredibly dangerous radionuclides are and toxic chemicals such as trichloroethylene, perchlorate, dioxins. Dioxins, they can cause birth defects and they're nasty, and heavy metals. Dr. Robert Dodge said in a statement, these toxic materials are in SSFL, soil, and vegetation, and when it burns and becomes airborne in smoke and ash, there is a real possibility of heightened exposure for area residents. Regulators in California said initial testing found no elevated levels of radiation of hazardous compounds after the blaze near the site. Of course not, because if they did, there would be panic. There'd be like Chernobyl, mass exodus. The Department of Toxic Substance Control said staff went to Santa Susana Field Laboratory on Saturday and found facilities that previously handled radioactive and hazardous materials were not affected by the fire. The state agency said its measurements on the site and in the surrounding community found no radiation levels above background levels and no elevated levels of hazardous components other than the normally present after a wildfire. In an update to their previous statement, the Organization of Physicians for Social Responsibility said it was irresponsible to claim that SSFL contamination was not spread further by the fire. Well, of course, fires like that are not easily controlled. Well, they're just gonna go around the dangerous bits and just go near the safe bits. The Santa Susana Field Laboratory was used for decades to test rocket engines and for nuclear energy research. One of its nuclear reactors had a partial meltdown in 1959. How come we weren't told about this? When nuclear material was intentionally vented to prevent the site's sodium reactor experiment from overheating and exploding. Battles over decontamination efforts have gone on for years, with neighbors blaming the site for illnesses. The so-called Woolsey fire in Southern California has killed 2 people, destroyed more than 400 structures, and its height displaced about 200,000 people in the mountains and foothills west of Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Northern California is beset by the most deadly wildfire in history, dubbed the Camp Fire, which has killed at least 48 people, some burned beyond recognition. The death toll of 48 far exceeds the previous record for the greatest loss of life from a single wildfire in California history. 29 killed by the Griffith Park fire in Los Angeles in 1933. Okay, a few thoughts. Well, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg. If you've been watching the Radical Sisters videos, she's been dealing with Fukushima a lot. She's been the only person dealing with Fukushima. And if you've been watching her, or if you haven't, California is already effed. You can't spell the F word without Fukushima. Anyway, all of the Fukushima has been spreading radiation like 400 gallons or something like that. I don't take my word for it, but it's still going. For 7 years on, it's still leaking. And all of that has been taken by the current to California. California is being irradiated. It is being poisoned. Okay, and this is just going to make it worse because now you have an active site on Californian soil that is now going up and releasing its nuclear and chemical poisons all over the area. Now, I've been telling people over and over when I talk to them in California, okay, you need to move out of California. Whatever's happening, just get out of there. Make like that film and get out. Think about it. It ain't worth your life. Look for another job. Hell, in the Dust Bowl, when disaster struck in Oklahoma and the Midwest, they didn't care what they had to abandon. They got on their wagons, their cars, or just on foot, and we headed to California. Well, now it's time to go back. Get out of California. It's not worth your life. Anyway, peace, family. Comment, rate, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I'll leave the PayPal in the description, and I'll leave some links to the story and to the Radical Sisters video as well. Thank you. Peace.